Absolutely, here's a powerful, convincing opening to your speech. Educate yourself every day. Stay ahead of 99% of people with this daily habit. Delivered in the style of Eric Thomas, designed to hook your audience from the very first second and lock them in until the end. Listen to me real close, because this might be the most important message you hear all year. You want to get ahead. You want to separate yourself from everybody else. You want to be part of that top 1% that lives different, walks different, thinks different. Then sit tight, because I'm about to give you the one habit that will put you 10 years ahead of your peers. But first, let me be clear, this ain't for everybody. If you're comfortable, if you like average, if you're cool just surviving instead of thriving, you might wanna click off right now, because this right here. This is for the ones who are hungry, for the ones who wake up every morning knowing they were built for more than what the world keeps handing them. I'm not talking about motivation. I'm not talking about hype. I'm talking about transformation. I'm talking about the kind of mindset that makes you unrecognizable in a year. And the truth is, it don't come from talent. It don't come from money. It don't come from who your parents are or where you came from. It comes from what you do daily. Let me say that again, it comes from what you do every single day. And if you ain't educating yourself daily, you're falling behind, period. While everybody else is watching Netflix, scrolling social media, sleeping in, you gotta be reading, learning, studying, growing. Because let me tell you something, the gap between where you are and where you wanna be. That gap is filled with what you don't know yet. And every single day you skip the work. Every day you choose comfort over commitment. You're letting that gap get wider. But if you lock in, if you decide today that you're gonna feed your mind the way others feed their excuses, you won't just catch up. You'll leave everybody behind. So stay with me. Don't go nowhere. Because I'm about to walk you through exactly how to educate yourself every day, how to use it to build momentum, how to apply it so it sticks, and how to create a version of yourself so strong, so sharp, so valuable that this world can't ignore you even if it tried. Let's get to it. Let me break this down for you, because somebody out there needs to understand what's really going on in this world. We are not living in the same era our parents lived in. The game done changed. It's not about muscle, it's not about brawn, it's about brains. Information is the new currency, period. And the crazy part is, you got unlimited access to it right in your pocket. You walk around with a phone that can teach you any skill, break down any concept, open any door, and instead of using it to build your future, you using it to scroll your life away. You binge distractions while your goals are starving. You don't need $1 million to change your life. You need the discipline to learn something new every single day. Every day you wake up, you should be asking yourself, what can I learn today that makes me better than I was yesterday? Because let me tell you something, the people who are winning, the people who are leveling up year after year, they ain't waiting for some magical opportunity. They're studying, they're researching, they're learning. They're feeding their mind while the world is asleep. You know what separates the 1% from the 99%? It ain't always talent. It ain't even always hard work, because some of y'all work hard, but you're still stuck. You're still stuck because you're working hard at the wrong thing. You're working hard, but you ain't working smart. And smart work comes from smart thinking, and smart thinking only comes from consistently feeding your mind with new, valuable, relevant knowledge. Somebody told you school was the only place to learn, that after you graduate, you done. Nah, that's when the real education begins. The real education is what you do after they stop giving you grades. What do you do when there's no test, no teacher, no principal? Do you still show up for yourself? Do you still read? Do you still take notes? Or do you put your brain in neutral and coast? Let me ask you this. If I gave you a map to $1 million treasure, would you follow it? Would you get up every morning and take another step? Of course you would. Let me tell you something, learning ain't luck. It's not some random thing that just happens when you feel like it. It's a discipline. It's a routine. It's a muscle. And just like any other muscle in your body, if you don't use it, it gets weak. But if you train it, if you push it, stretch it, feed it, it becomes a weapon. A weapon that separates you from the crowd. A weapon that puts you in a room that most people will never even get invited into. The problem is, most people only train their mind when it's convenient. They only read when they feel inspired. They only study when they're desperate. But champions, they show up every single day, rain or shine, tired or rested, motivated or not, because they understand one thing. Greatness don't care how you feel, it only responds to consistency. I need you to start treating your mind like your body. You don't go to the gym one time and expect abs. You don't lift weights for a week and expect strength. So why do you think you can read one book and change your life? Why do you think one motivational video is supposed to unlock your future? That's not how it works. This is about repetition. It's about showing up and doing the work even when nobody's watching, even when it doesn't feel like it's working. Because over time you're building something. Over time you're stacking wisdom, perspective, and clarity, and that becomes your edge. See, when you train your mind every day, something powerful starts to happen. Your focus sharpens, your confidence grows, you start seeing things before they happen. You walk into situations prepared. You speak with authority. You make decisions faster, smarter, and people around you, they start noticing. They start asking questions. They want to know how you see things they don't. But it ain't magic, it's just reps. You don't need to study for 10 hours a day. You don't need to read an entire library. You just need to commit. You just need to show up every day and give your mind something valuable, a chapter, a quote, a podcast, a lesson, something that stretches you, something that reminds you that you're in control of your evolution. Because that's what this is. Daily education is evolution. You're not just learning facts, you're becoming a new version of yourself. And let's be real, most people don't want to do that work. They want change without challenge. They want results without resistance. But you different. You ain't looking for shortcuts. You're looking for strength, mental strength. That strength that doesn't break under pressure. That strength that keeps moving when it gets hard. That strength that wins in silence before the world ever sees it. And it all starts with how you treat your mind. Every day you choose to train it. You're building mental stamina. You're building habits that outlast emotions. You're building identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who's always growing, always leveling up, always learning. And once that becomes your standard, there's no going back. Because now you know what you're capable of. Now you've seen the gap between who you were and who you're becoming, and you ain't about to shrink back. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop telling yourself you'll start learning when life slows down. It doesn't slow down, you just have to rise up. Start with 5 minutes if that's all you've got, but start, build that muscle, stretch it, push it, train it, because the stronger your mind gets, the smaller your problems feel, and the bigger your future becomes. Let's get real. Some of y'all say you want success, say you want freedom, say you want change. But when I look at your habits, your lifestyle, your schedule, you know what I see. I see entertainment. I see distraction. I see you giving your time, your energy, your attention to things that ain't feeding you, things that ain't building you, things that ain't making you better. And then you wonder why you feel stuck. You wonder why nothing's moving. It's not that life's against you. It's that you keep choosing comfort over growth. You keep choosing amusement over advancement. See, I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm saying don't confuse relaxation with regression. Don't numb your pain when you've got the power to outgrow it. Most people, they'll wake up, and the first thing they reach for is their phone, not their purpose. They'll spend hours scrolling, laughing at videos, caught up in drama, keeping up with people who aren't even thinking about them, while their goals are sitting there, collecting dust. But when you flip that switch, when you start replacing entertainment with education, something starts to shift in your spirit. Your mind wakes up. Your standards rise. You stop being impressed by distractions and start being obsessed with discipline. You start valuing your time, guarding your energy, choosing what goes into your head, because you realize whatever you feed your mind with, you become. If you're constantly feeding your mind with noise, with chaos, with nonsense, then guess what? You become chaotic. You become confused. You become reactive. But if you start feeding your mind with strategy, with wisdom, with clarity, then that becomes your default. You stop moving like everybody else. You stop reacting. You start responding. You start taking control. And I get it. When you're tired, when life hits hard, it's easier to escape. It's easier to binge a show than to build a skill. It's easier to gossip than to grow. But easy don't pay the price of greatness. Easy don't get you to legacy. Easy don't change your life. You gotta make the hard choice daily to feed your mind something real, something useful, something that stretches you. You're not behind because you're not good enough. You're behind because you've been too busy watching others' live while you've been ignoring your own life. Every time you choose distraction over development, you delay your destiny. Every time you trade knowledge for comfort, you give up a little piece of your potential. You don't need a degree to level up. You need discipline, you need hunger, you need intention. You need to make that quiet decision every single day. Today, I'm not giving my mind away to junk. Today, I'm building. Today, I'm becoming. That's how you stay ahead. That's how you separate. That's how you win, by doing what the 99% won't. And let me tell you something. When you start moving like that, when you start choosing growth over comfort every single day, people will notice. They might not say it, but they'll feel it. Your conversations shift. Your energy shifts. Your direction shifts. Because now you ain't just talking about goals. You're walking in alignment with them. You're moving like someone who knows where they're headed. And the best part, that daily habit, that one decision to educate yourself instead of entertaining yourself, it compounds. It stacks. It grows. One article turns into insight. One video turns into vision. One book turns into breakthrough. And over time, while everyone else is still chasing hype, you've built a foundation that can't be shaken. So don't tell me you don't have time. You do. You've just been spending it on the wrong things. From this moment on, make the switch. Stop escaping. Start engaging. Feed your future, not your fear. Because the moment you decide to replace entertainment with education, you don't just change your habits, you change your life. Let me tell you something, the biggest transformation you will ever make in your life won't start with your body. It won't start with your bank account. It won't even start with your environment. It starts right here in your mind. And what you choose to feed it every single day.